Hello and welcome back to Yoga with Adele. And today we are looking at the pose of pyramid pose. I'm just laughing because my cat is here and just as I walked back, I think I made a jump and she kind of stuck a paw out. She's blind. She's old and blind, so that's why she sticks a paw out to see who is there. So welcome to Pyramid Posture, Foundations of Yoga series on this channel. If you have them, grab a couple of yoga blocks. They may come in handy today just to bring the floor up to you. Even if you are quite loose in the hamstrings, it's really good to work with blocks just to help you to lengthen the spine. So I would recommend a couple of blocks. If you don't have blocks, you can get a couple of similar sized books, sturdy books, and just use those as well, even just a couple of piles of little books just at the front of your mat to bring the floor up to you. And you can just leave those towards the front of your mat for now. So Parsvottanasana, pyramid posture. It's a pose that stretches our legs. It really stretches into the hamstrings, the back of the legs, but it also strengthens the front of the legs. It is also a really good posture for working the core because we're going to be using our core not to collapse our spine, and it also strengthens the back muscles. There are variations that we'll have a look at as well today where we can do variations with the arms, which means that we get a nice stretch through the shoulders, through the chest. We can even do a variation where we stretch the wrists and the fascia all around the forearm, the fingers, the wrist joint. So there's a lot to this posture, so it can be quite deceiving. So sometimes we can just flip into this during a yoga flow and not think much about it. So I think it's really good to break it down. So the first thing we're going to do is to look at our feet, because when we're in this posture, we really want to make sure that we're placing our weight evenly in the feet. So with the feet hip distance apart on your mat, I want you to stack your feet under your hips. Our hips are a little bit narrower than that. And I want you to just lift your toes and spread your toes. Just kind of fan the toes out. So many people in standing postures tend to grip and squeeze and scrunch the toes just to help with balance. We don't want to do that. We want to lengthen the toes out. And see if you can just place the toes down with this nice spatial awareness. And really see if you can connect to the base of the toes. So not the toes themselves, but come back towards the bottom of the toes, to the bottom of the big toe mound, the little toe mound, and the back two corners of your heel. So I want you to just lift your heels now. See if you can feel as if you're spreading your foot back and then placing your foot down. So do it one at a time. Lift the heel, keep the base of the toe mounds down, stretch your foot back, place it down. Lift the heel, stretch the foot back and place it down. So you can do that a couple of times. Good. Keep your knees soft, so that means we're not locking the knees. We've got a little micro bend in the knees. Keep wiggling and stretching the toes, pressing into those four corners of the feet. And you might like to just move a little left and right as well. So this can help if you suffer with kind of fallen arches and flat feet. You might find that your feet roll in and then this will feel really normal to you, but your knees will be collapsing in. And what happens when you come into a forward bend is your knees will roll in like this. Many people I see when I do a forward bend and we roll down, their knees come in like this. So I want you to keep that awareness in the outside edge of the feet as well as the inside edge as we go for a spinal roll. So we're going to drop our chin to our chest. And as we do that, just feel the top of your spine, the cervical spine, the neck here, that neck joint bend. That's the first part of your spine, the first vertebrae that's going to bend. And then feel the next one as you take your hands on your thighs, then your knees, and round a little bit more through the spine. So we're really rounding the spine. You're letting your shoulders fold forwards. chin to chest. Go down nice and slowly, keep going as you really bend the knees. Chin to chest, and your back is completely round like a little turtle shell. You can let your hands come down to the ground. Keep working on that nice foot posture, Padabandha. Relax the neck. So notice if you're gripping in the neck and you're looking up, just try and listen rather than see. So shake your head out a little bit, relax the neck, relax the shoulders, relax the arms. Take a breath, relax the spine, keep the knees really bent. And then to come up, bend your knees even more as if you're sitting down in a chair. And again, chin to chest, tucking the tailbone under, using the strength of the legs, starting to spinal roll up. So feeling that vertebrae stack one at a time. Good. And coming all the way up, the head is the last thing to sit on top of your spinal column. Roll your shoulders back and down. So now just opening the chest, dropping the shoulders back and down. Feel your spine in this nice straight line from the top of your head, from the crown to the tail. So when we did our forward fold just then, if I turn this way, we rounded the spine, chin to chest. Can you see we bent the knees, we started to slump the shoulders forwards, and we really C-curved into the spine. This time when we bend forwards, we're going to try and keep the spine long. So it doesn't mean that we're going to completely lock out the knees. We're still going to have softness in the knees, but we're going to have to engage our tummy a little bit more. So start to switch on your low belly. So what does that mean? Pulling your navel into your spine a little bit. Breathe in through the nose. Draw the navel in, suck in the low belly. Soften the knees. And this time as you slide the hands down, you're hinging from your hips. Squeeze the pelvic floor a little bit. So now can you see we're not rounding the back. We're keeping those shoulders pulled back. We're squeezing and hugging the elbows in. So the elbows are hugging into the rib cage. The chest is nice and long. Imagine you're looking over a mountaintop or into a pond as you come down this time. So this is more difficult than you imagine for many people. And time and again, when I say keep your spine long, I see people doing this. And the back, this upper back is rounded. So just notice, check in with yourself if that's you. Pull the shoulder blades back, pull the elbows back, lengthen. Try and be longer. Try and make your spine longer by reaching out through the crown of the head. Now, if you've got your blocks, you can use them here. Keep pulling in with the belly. Keep the spine nice and long. The knees are a little bit soft. We're pressing into all four corners of the feet. And we're looking at the top edge of the yoga mat. So remember your neck is part of your spine, so you don't want to just collapse the chin to the chest or to crick the neck up. So the spine is nice and long. Breathe here. You can, of course, bend your knees as much as you need to. If you need to bend your knees more, then please do. So we're getting a little stretch for the hamstrings here. If you're more flexible in the hamstrings and you're not feeling it, then bring your blocks down a little bit to the next level or the next level. But keep your spine long. Can you see? Shoulders back, chest forwards, knees soft. Press into the big toe mound, the little toe mound and the heel, and keep the neck relaxed. Good. Now bring your hands back to the waistline. Keep your spine in one straight piece, soften those knees, hinge from your hips, use your tummy, use your core, and lift all the way up. Woo! Good. Okay, so now bringing your blocks back into position. This time, so the difference now for pyramid pose is we're going to slide the left toes back. Now, positioning the feet, they don't have to be on a tightrope, so you don't have to have heel to arch. Some people teach heel to arch, and it's good as a guideline, but it doesn't work in everybody's body. So if lining the front foot and heel with the inner arch of the back foot doesn't work for you because you still feel not very balanced, then you can take your feet a little bit wider, you know, go with what feels right in your hip. But what I do want you to do is make sure that you're not opening out the back hip. You want to be dropping your back hip, dropping it forward, dropping it down, and pulling so we're pulling the right hip crease back and the left hip crease forwards. Okay, so this is going to help us to square our pelvis. So again, it's easier here to do this work. Once you come into the pose, sometimes people's pelvis moves around a little bit. So check in with that. Imagine you've got headlights on each hip bone. Feel for your hip bones. And when you step that left leg back, dropping the heel in slightly, just check that that left headlight has not gone off on the diagonal somewhere. So you want to make sure your headlights are facing straight ahead. So if you're driving your car, so you can see where you're going. Now, engage the low belly again. Please press into your feet. Big toes, big toe mound, little toe mound, and heel. Stretch, lengthen, and wiggle your toes. Lift the heel and just press it back. Lift the front heel and press it back so your foot is nice and long. Draw the belly in, squeeze the pelvic floor, pull the shoulders back, lift the head. Place your hands on your hips so you've got a nice, dignified spine. Take a breath. Keeping that low belly in, start to hinge from your hips. Keep a micro bend in the front knee. Now, as you fold and you come to halfway, this is where you can use your blocks. Now, you can place your hands on your blocks. This is bringing the floor up to you. Now here, you may notice that the back heel has lifted. If that's the case, you can step the foot in. Sometimes I see people with a really long stance here, and that's why it's not easy for them to press the heel down. So you can bring your back foot in. This is a shorter stance than like a triangle pose. So you can bring that in quite a good distance. I want you to keep pulling the shoulders back and lengthening the chest and dropping that left hip crease down. If it's really impossible to press the heel, feel free to just keep the heel lifted as you work to drop it down, just like you would in a downward facing dog. You would just be dropping the heel down at the same time lengthening the back. If this is really easy for you, you can bring your blocks down, of course, but don't do that if it means you've compromised your spine and you've rounded your back. So lengthen, 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 and just be where you are. Breathe. Now, pressing into those feet, really press into the front foot, the big toe mound of the front foot, and wherever you are, just see if you can lift the arms. So maybe you just hover a little bit off the floor. So now we're not holding onto our blocks. That really intensifies the stretch in the hamstring. So if that's too much, then leave it out. And then if that's possible, see if you can sweep your arms back. Keep looking straight down at the floor, pressing into the feet strongly. If this is possible, maybe we can interlace the hands and open the shoulders and squeeze. Keep using your core, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And then bring your hands back to your block. And fold over that front leg. So dropping the head, relaxing the neck. Keep pressing into both feet. Relaxing the toes. Breathe. Good. Now just bend that front knee a little bit. Bring your hands back to your waist and rise up strong. Ooh, this is a strong pose. It is not easy. My legs are shaking a little bit. So step forwards and shake out. We'll do the other side and do another variation. Okay, so I might turn around so that you can see from this side. So that side, I slid the left toes back. So now I'm going to slide the right toes back. Sliding back. Each side may be different, so decide where is a good distance for you. Where can you place that heel down but still straighten, both legs. Drop that back heel in slightly, but keep an eye on your headlights on your hips. So you need to turn your toes in as much as is required to keep your hips level. So my headlights are facing forwards I'm going to scoop the low belly in and lengthen through the crown of the head. Squeeze the pelvic floor, lengthen my toes, lengthen my feet. Adjust my stance so that I feel balanced. So if you're too much on a tightrope, then you may feel more wobbly, you may feel better widening your base. Okay, here we go. Now, hinging from the hips, keeping your spine long, so don't let your shoulders collapse in your back round. Keep your chin away from your chest, it's nice and long in the neck. Halfway, come onto your blocks, pyramid posture. Check in with the feet, press strongly into the base of the big toe, the base of the right and left feet, big toe, little toe, heel. Keep scooping in the belly and lengthening the spine. Now, with this nice long spine, taking your blocks to wherever is good for you. So maybe you stay up high on your blocks, maybe you come halfway. Try to keep the neck integrated, so it's really easy to crick in the neck and look forward. Remember, it's part of your spine. Press into the feet more strongly now, so it can be tempting to just relax into it. Press into the feet because we're going to use our core and lift the arms. Once again, reach them back, interlace the fingers, open the shoulders. Good, now halfway lift, rise up strong. This time, we can see if we can either hold on to the elbows. This might be enough, we just hold on to the elbows here. Or, if we can, we're going to do a reverse prayer, reverse namaste. So, taking the fingers up the back, just show you this way, as far as you can, bringing the little fingers together, second, third, fourth finger, and then the thumb, pulling the elbows back. It's quite strong, so if it's too strong, then just use the elbow grip. And then we can fold from here. So we need to use all of our tools to hug in the low belly, lengthen the torso, keep the back nice and long, pulling the shoulders back and hinging over that leg. Now, if this is too much, remember you can just clasp the forearms or the elbows here. You could go back to your interlaced grip, or you could keep your hands on your blocks for support. Breathe for 3, 2, and 1. Press into the feet, micro bend that knee, bring yourself back up to standing, and turn your feet all the way around, heel toe them in, and give the legs a shake out. That is one tough posture, so absolutely well done if you have completed this video. Please do let me know in the comments below if you did the practice today and what your favorite part was or your most challenging part. And I would also love you to subscribe. So please help me get this channel. We're not quite at 100 subscribers on YouTube. So please do subscribe. I do release these videos once a week. Sometimes I'm a little bit later than that. Like I've just had last week off for school holidays. But usually it's once a week. So do look out for new videos. Press subscribe, press the notifications if you want to be notified of new videos coming up in the future. And I will see you all again soon for another practice with Yoga with Adele. Have a beautiful day. Bye for now.